Let me make sure I'm unmuted. I am, in fact. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody, to episode 2 of Endless Wonder, our Warehouse 13 inspired D&D 5e campaign using the ultra-modern system. I am Pixie, your first-time DM. Happy to be here today. Let's go around the table, starting with Evie. Tell us who you are, what's your plan, what your character's role is, all that jazz. Hold on, let me unmute you guys. Let me make sure that they can hear you, because for some reason, that's not where it decided to pick up. Try that again. Professional. Still does not want to pick you up. Keep talking. Just keep talking. Just keep talking.
People.
There we go. Okay. Give them all of that again. For some fucking reason, OBS made me input the exact same thing 4 times. And I changed nothing. I changed nothing about what I told it to do. I just did it over and over again, and suddenly it went, oh, you want the audio for this audio capture. What the fuck? So, there you go. Please, thank you for being our guinea pig today. You just happen to be the first one in the row. Please say all of that again so the people at home can hear you.
Yeah, you talked about hazing, and I didn't realize it was going to be this bad.
You know what? I would apologize, but I won't. Because welcome to Rep RPG.
I'm excited.
Just did too good last week.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. So I'm Ray. I'm playing Evie Marins. They are a Air Force commander. They are very militaristic on the outside, but then on the inside, very caring. Like wants everybody to succeed. Wants to see everybody else prosper as well. And then they're also very charismatic. Very like can get into any situation, can get out of any situation, and is the first one in and last one out.
Matthew, you're up.
I'm Matthew, and I'm playing Gareth Sullivan. He is... God, what even is... He's a mess is what he is. He is our veteran infiltrator pathfinder. What do those words mean? Nobody knows, but you'll find out maybe. Who knows? That's me.
I am Andrew. I'm playing Dr. Aaron Chase, the on-site bioengineer for our crew. He's a suave medic, is his character type. Also very charismatic, but a little less focused, I would say, than Evie. Gets a little lost and needs to be reoriented at times. And I'm having a lot of fun playing him.
Hi there. I'm Krista or Magpie, and I'll be playing Jack King or Jackie. I just like to play on words with the Jack King. Also, she's all about the gender bending. She, her pronouns though. She's a bit of a snarky little wise ass. Likes to get into places she's not supposed to, especially digitally. Online, if it's connected to a web of any sort, she'll try to get into it. And so she's sort of the resident information finder.
And I am all of the other characters. Welcome to Endless Wonder, a D&D campaign inspired by the world of Warehouse 13, the sci-fi perfect show. the sci-fi cult classic that I am still obsessed with to this day. Absolutely thrilled to be here. Any of the major or minor characters that you see in that show could appear here. Last week we met our new heroes, our new agents, our new warehouse agents. The warehouse has chosen them all specifically, despite Claudia Donovan's best wishes and intentions. Claudia herself, it transpired, has been running the warehouse by herself for a very, very, very long time. How long, none of them are quite sure. None of them really know anything much about her. But at the end of the last episode, she essentially gave them a choice. Some of them not so much. Hey, this is, you're in or you're out. This could be your new home. These are the types of things that we have to do every day to save the world and protect the world. All of our agents are brought in on a world encompassing sort of artifact that was going absolutely haywire in the form of the original draft of the children's book Jumanji being read by a man desperate to save his dying wife by including her in a game that could never end until one of them ended it. All of our agents have seen things that do boggle the mind and bend the imagination, and hopefully have all decided to stay here. We did find out at the end of the last episode that while Artie Nilsson was a favorite in the TV show and Claudia's father figure, the Artie that Claudia had been interacting with the entire show was in fact just a very sophisticated AI, AI hologram who she'd programmed to talk back to her. But now she has finally turned it off, put that tape away, and is going about her business with these new agents to see if they have what it takes to take over in the spaces of those agents that she learned alongside of so long ago. That's what happened previously on Endless Wonder. Now our scene opens at a cozy little bed and breakfast just down the road from the warehouse. The sign outside the front has never changed. It still reads Lena's, although none of these people know who Lena is. None of them have ever met her. There is a portrait in the hallway of a young African-American woman with curly hair. She is not the proprietor of this establishment, however. The proprietor is a young Asian woman. Very young, calls herself Abby. You recognize what looks like it might be her mother in another portrait next to Lena labeled Abigail Cho. You get the feeling that Abby inherited this place from her mother, who possibly inherited it from Lena. She's a little bit more energetic than you would expect from someone running an Airbnb. She is very about trying new things. She has a little touch of getting vibes about people and things and auras, but she does it in a much more eclectic sort of way. You get why Claudius in specific would get along with her. Abby is often the one to bring in weird experimentations on the bed and breakfast vibe. She is that, hey, I'm putting breakfast in waffle cones, what do you think, kind of girl. And absolutely loves it. She has been she'll spend her days experimenting with different baking techniques and different crock-pot recipes and all of this stuff, all in, well, you're not sure what sort of quest she is on to perfect the vibe here. You'll often come downstairs and find her just completely moving the furniture around with no explanation. When asked occasion, it'll be, it didn't like it there anymore. And you just have to accept it. You have learned in the 2 weeks that you've been getting settled in here and not been allowed to really go on any missions yet, as there's a lot of debriefing that needs to happen, a lot of restructuring, a lot of wrapping up loose ends with your life back home that needs to be dealt with. Claudia is not eager to send you out on any missions yet. As a matter of fact, some of you may be getting a little antsy and wondering why. During that time, though, you've got to know Abby very, very well. You have gotten to see this sort of vibe that she curates here. And while you have spent your time split between the the B&B, I live in this century, and that's where Airbnb became a thing. While you have spent a lot of time between Lena's and the warehouse itself, you realize that Lena's is kind of an extension of the warehouse, which explains the idea of this doesn't like being here anymore. You found similar things as you've spent your time with Claudia over the last 2 weeks, reshelving and rehoming things, as she's taught you how artifacts work, as she's taught you how the shelving has to be moved regularly, and how some artifacts don't like to sit next to some other ones. Similar vibe here at the B&B, but not to quite that much of an extreme. So, during those 2 weeks, I would like to know how all of you have settled in, and what arrangements you may or may not have made to rehome yourselves to this tiny little town in South Dakota. Let's start with Aaron. Just to fuck with Andrew, because he was used to being third in the list, and I knew he wasn't expecting it.
Put me on the spot.
Listen, Evie did so good. Evie did their intro 3 times. They don't have to go first right now, okay?
I wasn't saying. You skipped over Matthew. He might be feeling a little ignored. That's you know how he.
Yeah, he
Now
is
how
a
You know
Yes.
how I
menace.
get. Yeah, you know how I get. So you're on thin ice, Caitlin.
You know what? I'll take that. I'll take it. It's fine. I think I can handle it.
Give me buttons.
Oh God, no!
I think so. Aaron has like pulled apart his room in the B&B, like where it was the bed and the bed frame with like furniture that has all been shoved to like one side of the room to get to his bed at night. He has to probably climb over a coffee table and a sitting chair, and like it's all in the place of what I'm sure was a very carefully laid out room. There is a large table that he has dragged from somewhere else, and it is just covered in notes. Everything that he's gone over helping reorganize the warehouse, the people that he works with, as well as his own like personal notes on projects and things he wants to try to do. And getting kind of goblin-y, like he's like there are food like wrappers and dishes and stuff kind of piled in one corner, because just as he's working, he instead of going and cleaning up after himself, he just gets it out of the way. And where he is normally a pretty clean person, this is just so much new information that he's just been trying to process. The rest of the group probably only sees him for a few moments when he's coming in, like refilling a thermos of coffee or getting another plate of food at some point in the day. Or he does still go on his morning bike ride every morning. He goes out at like 6 o'clock in the morning and does a loop around the town.
And the town has noticed. You get the women in this town it's a very small town. This is the town people go back to in the most boring Hallmark Christmas movie ever. It's not fun, it's not cute, it's not charming, it's meant to be out of the way. And that absolutely does mean you're fresh meat. You are new man. You are here, and look at that homeless scientist hippie go. Sorry, carry on.
That's pretty much what he's up to. He has not really spent a whole lot of time like talking to the locals, like maybe some brief interactions, but like at this point he's just biking because he needs that sense of routine. It's something he's used to. He's used to waking up in the morning and going on a bike ride. Beyond that, he's a little self-made lab goblin currently.
All right, now we're gonna hit Evie, please.
Of course. So basically, Evie being military, is used to moving, used to picking up and go at a moment's notice. They obviously have their big old cup that says, don't talk to me until this is finished. And they have one other item, which is going to be a record player and their father's collection of records. It's the only thing that has any meaning to her, or in any meaning to them, anything that they've actually held on to over the years. That's the only thing. So the only thing that they needed to do was make sure that their superiors were notified because they didn't really have a choice. I'm sure. Notified of the change, and then they just needed to get their mug and their record player. They spend their mornings first thing in the morning, still going out and doing their run, still going out and doing their smoke, and immediately going in and sitting in the lobby of the Airbnb or the B. You got me saying it now too.
I'm sorry.
Of the B&B. Of the B&B, filling up their coffee and getting to know Abby a little bit, and just waiting for the mission. Like you said, like absolutely restless. Like has not sat this long since they were a child.
I would like everyone to know I'm about to drop the face claim for Abby in the Discord, because I knew exactly who I pictured her as. I know exactly who she is. Matthew, it is your turn to go. We'll be up by the time you're done.
Yeah, so whenever Gareth was first getting settled in, he had a couple of long phone calls to make. One of them being to his longtime partner Kyle. That is a very, very good face claim.
Right.
That is a very,
Wouldn't she
very
fit
good
in
face
so
claim.
well in a reboot of this show?
Yes, she
Wouldn't
would.
she?
Yes, she would. But so the first of the very long phone calls was with his partner Kyle. Or not Kyle. I'm terrible at knowing names that
Boy, I
wrote
really hope
down.
this means you're breaking up with him if you don't remember his
No.
name. Like,
No, it's because Kyle is somebody else in my history that is right next to it in my notes. Tyler. With his longtime partner Tyler. And basically, like, his role in the CIA would periodically make him go do longer missions. But most of the time those were absolutely no information can be given to anybody on the details of this. But for this one, it's weird, and it's kind of weirded him out too, that he has some information that he can give, but it's not all of it, and it's not in the same nature. So he has kind of explained it as a possibly long-term mission that might require permanent relocation, but for now, Tyler can stay in DC if he wants, to be able to keep the apartment warm. But that obviously they're talking daily, since this isn't a super secret mission. And then the other long phone call that he had to have was a 3-way phone call with two of his sisters, Mary and Rachel. He had to, because they're two of his best friends. And so he was explaining to them that he is temporarily moving to Podunk, South Dakota. And they were both shocked, surprised, disgusted, just like he was. And but once those had happened, the only things that he had to bring with him, obviously he brought a small amount of clothes, and then he has on his dresser several photos. He has a couple of family photos, a couple of them his family without him, a couple of just him and his sisters, and then obviously a few of them that are him and Tyler. But once everything physically had been settled in, I think he, at first, was fine. And then about 5 days in, started getting very restless, just like the other two so far, because similar to Evie, like, this is about the longest that he's ever sat still without some sort of concrete goal. That is, because, like, with some of his missions, it's been like sit and wait and watch, but it's been sit and wait and watch with a purpose. Whereas this is, so far, seems to be sit and wait and do whatever this young lady, this eclectic young lady tells you to do, and then also sit and wait and help move furniture for this other young lady in the B&B.
just
So-
life run by two women who look like teenagers. but talk like
Yes.
they're 80. Like, you know,
Correct.
they know their shit, but like they're children. Like,
Yeah, and so I think that it's the first few days were fine, and now it's been about a week and a half of restless confusion, and probably he's like gone to town, tried to see if there's any sort of nightlife. When there's not, he gets so bored, and instead just like, I don't know, thinks about buying a video game console or some shit. And then doesn't, because we'll see. But but that's it. He's just kind of restless and bored now.
I love this so much. Yeah, no, there's a chat in the quest board. It is the Endless Wonder channel in Discord. It's at the bottom of the quest board category, in the rep Discord, that you should be able to see. Yeah, if you guys have ever wanted to see any of these nonsense things, we have a lot of chaos that happens in the Discord, and I love it. All right, you are up, Jack King. Once we figure out audio, you're up.
It reset itself again. This is what it did last week. Okay. I think I fixed it. So Jackie's been trying to get into Claudia's files. Spending much time trying to and not succeeding. Also trying to learn what computer stuff there is to learn, and learning everything that anyone will let her learn, pretty much, and probably some of the things they're not supposed to let her learn. She's enjoying having living at the B&B and having a weird breakfast, all about the breakfast in a waffle cone. Weirdly delicious. She's probably seeing the good doctor out on his bike rides, because she goes for a morning run in lieu of having anywhere for her to currently like practice martial arts. And as much as she loves her computers, does not like sitting all day, so has to have some sort of outlet for the energy. And what else to do than go for a run in this quaint little weird ass town. Which gets her a number of looks, considering her kind of outrageous physical. I don't think I explained her looks this time around. Short, curvy, sort of tanny, sort of olive, like complete mutt skin tone. Very curly hair, shaved on the sides, and the entire front poof is like aqua teal colored. And wears things with far too many pockets. Normally all of those pockets are filled with things. Even on her runs. There's slightly less pockets on the runs, but there's still pockets. That's probably...
All right.
She's going to be spending a lot of time trying to bug Claudia.
Claudia has, I'm very happy we went in the order we did, because of all the characters here, you are the one who is most likely to be trying to interact with my main NPC, so well done. You will notice that Claudia it took you about a week to figure this out. It took you about a week to realize that while you thought you were absolutely finding the right files, that Claudia had prepared for you specifically. And she had made fake files and fake backdoors and labyrinthine file paths to make you think you were succeeding, to keep you busy. And by the end of 2 weeks, all of you, no matter what, have realized Claudia has been watching for very specific things from all of you. She's watching how you handle your free time. She's watching how you handle the being cooped up. She's watching how you handle those of you who started. She's taken you through here's what these pings mean, here's what these whatever. She has gone on missions herself and left you all in the warehouse. And she's watching to see how all of you respond to this sort of behavior. What she thinks of it, she does not share with you, but you know by the end of this 2 weeks, when she finally calls you all together and tells you all that we have an actual ping that she's going to send you on, that she has been taking copious notes on all of your strengths and weaknesses from a close place. After all, she saw most of you instinctually on the field in one way or another during that first mission 2 weeks ago. And she has spent a very long time, the couple of files you do stumble upon organically that have not been hidden behind any kind of wall, Jack, are case files on all of your previous work. Anything she could get her hands on, legally or otherwise, about all of you. She has mission dossiers from anyone she can. She has files that Gareth was sure were redacted at one point or other. And she has taken note of what sort of agents she at least thinks you all will be. When she finally, come thee to Pennsylvania for breakfast waffle cones. You're welcome. When she finally calls you in this morning, she is in a rather excitable state. She is in quite a state of eagerness, actually, with... She has the computer up, as she does, but she has extended much of this into holographic displays on the wall that you all have seen her bring up and down with the wave of a hand, and move things around with Minority Report style. She has these gloves she can put on to sort of move screen things around, and when you get up there, when you get there, there's folders waiting for all of you with the mission dossier, with the brief, essentially, and and a ton of just Peter Pan memorabilia up on every single screen. I mean, there's the statue of, there's pictures of J.M. Barrie, there's page excerpts, there's all sorts of things. And this over and over again, this childlike wonder written in notes, circled, question marked, bullet points of like, she's written down page numbers where "you can fly" appear in multiple versions of the text. She has the original play and pages from adaptations and screenplays and all of these things. Now, which of you would immediately pick up and start reading a case file, and which of you would not? Show of hands if you are the type of character who would immediately start reading a case file.
I can speed read and talk at the same time. I'm doing it both.
Evie does not. Evie sits and waits and listens. Claudia makes notes.
I'm also looking at the screens and going, "Oh, I do not like Peter Pan."
Out of curiosity, you may have said this, but are we doing our briefing in the B&B, or are we doing our briefing in the warehouse?
She has called you
office?
into the warehouse today.
Got it. Thank you.
She specifically called you into the warehouse today, because it's an all hands on deck situation. As a matter of fact, she has not come down to the B&B or called. There is a screen that has been installed in the B&B where she can call people, or like it's like a message board, and it's flashing red when you all are doing breakfast. It's an all hands on deck situation. It's a grab your food and run. It's a get your pastries and get your ass over here kind of. And she's taught the code, like in the new and improved handbook by Claudia. She has put codes and radio signals and light signals in for like, hey, if this ever goes off, just fucking get here. Please and thank you, let's go. So by the time you all get there, with or without coffee, pastry, whatever you've managed to grab and bring with you, she's got, she doesn't even have chairs set out for all of you. Instead, she has put 4 case files in 4 specific places around the room, knowing where you all tend to gravitate when you're either in the warehouse or in the B&B or sitting at attention and listening. She has put Jackie's near the computer, as she knows that Claudia herself is at the computer, but she knows you always try to get as close to it as possible, so it's at the edge of that desk, next to one of the screens. She knows Evie likes to keep an eye on the door, I'm assuming. Back to the wall situation, she has put yours over on a little pedestal over there. She has put she has put errands on one of the comfier chairs in the room because he tends to sort of it's a chair with good back support where he can sit forward and listen and be, but like still be comfortable. She's given him a little bit of comfort. And she has put Gareth's next to there's an equipment rack. And she's watched him eye this, like, I wonder if I could borrow these kind of thing. I need to go hit something. I need to do something. And she's put it over there by the weapons rack. Does anyone actively avoid their clearly, it's like when parents hide an Easter basket. But, like, she was like, this is where I think they're gonna go. Does anyone actively not go those places?
I think...
Yeah.
I don't even think Aaron processes that this was deliberate. He picks it up, like sticks a Danish in his mouth and is just holding it as he immediately begins flipping through.
Flawless.
He will look around and realize everybody has one and move up and walk over and stand next to Evie and like kind of compares to see if they've been given the same notes.
I love that so much. Oh my god, I'm so happy right now. So Stretch, thank you. I shall do so, just. Oh my god. So she barely waits for the door to close behind the last of you in, and she said, "Are any of you here familiar with the life of J.M. Barrie?" Great, no, great, phenomenal. So, famously, when his brother died, he spent a very, very long time trying to cheer up his mom. And trying to cheer up his and make her believe that everything was going to be okay. She's very excited about this. It's fascinating to watch. There's a little bit of Artie in her as she is like, it's fascinating to watch the track of these artifacts as they are born and morph, and sometimes we can't even tell when it happened. We just have the rumors and the stories, but I think everything you need to know is going to be in there because something has resurfaced. The problem is we don't know what. The problem is something keeps popping up through history, and she flips her board, and you notice that you have matching pages in your case files on some of these. She flips to this list of every time some of J.M. Barrie's things are sold or bought or sold, someone who has they've tried to track down all of them. They've gotten first drafts. She has the thought of not a Jumanji thing. They have the original draft of all these things. It was costumes from the play. No, wasn't it? All these things. Because something has been resonating with the inner child within people who pick it up or wear it, or she's not sure what it is. It's fascinating to her. You can tell she's fascinated by this. She points, she says, the problem is, he influenced so much, and this story has gone so many places. But we think it originated with J.M. Barrie's childhood himself, shortly after his brother died. Now, whether it was his brother's or his mother's, we're not sure. But whatever it was, followed him throughout his life. And the stories about the aura this man gave off, and the people who talked to him, like he had this impossible childishness about him. Children trusted him and wanted to talk to him and wanted to tell him about their imaginations, and they watched Peter Pan live on stage, and even adults forgot that they were adults for a minute, and they became overjoyed watching this childhood imagination come to life before them again. There are pages and pages of stories of people who witnessed the opening nights of these shows, even now, who just the history of it is something wonderful and mysterious and strange. But there's an artifact somewhere there. There's an artifact somewhere at the heart of all of it that's gone too far. Whether it's a coat or a pocket watch or a pen, we're not sure, but it seems that if children bond with it, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. I mean, none of the children... She stops herself, remembering the tragic history of the children in J.M. Barrie's life, who the characters are modeled after. She said, as far as we could tell, none of that was associated with whatever this was. The drawback seems to mostly happen to adults. If they attach too hard to the idea of Peter Pan. It's what the concept of a Peter Pan syndrome and never growing up came from. The urge to chase after a simpler version of yourself is detrimental to the point of them abandoning their jobs to run off and live in the woods, or we've never managed to track down exactly what it was that was doing it. It just pops up in stories. But it's always stories around where something has happened with a J.M. Barrie exhibit or museum. We've never managed to gather all the pieces of his childhood home or for the museums. But they're having an auction. And I finally found one. And I don't know. You're gonna have to get there fast. And she knows there's plane tickets in the back of your dossiers. There's something's happening on Prince Edward Island. There's a literary conference of some kind happening this weekend, and apparently they're auctioning off many pieces from famous authors' lives, and J.M. Barrie was one of them. And I'm gonna need you all to get down there. We've got a lot of histories to track down, but it says it's a closed collection. I can't even see what they're offering. So, you have two options. You can get out there in the field yourself, or you can stay here and help me do some research. Because the warehouse itself is never-ending and ever to be cataloged, and we might be missing something here. So, it's up to all of you, but whoever's leaving, go, get packed, get on the plane, call me when you get there, and whoever's staying, let's hit the stacks. She leaves you to make your choices. You are welcome to ask her questions.
Gareth will look around, and if nobody else is immediately getting up, he will, without word, leave. If there are other people starting to get up, he will wait. But if nobody else starts to leave, he will go.
Is he prepared to do his mission himself?
No, he just assumes that other people, he has to go pack. He assumes that other people will go pack in the Airbnb. And God damn it, I'm saying it too. In the B&B.
At Lena's. We can just call it Lena's.
Yeah, at Lena's. But so he will like, okay, and start to leave.
Yeah, no, as soon as Claudia says hit the stacks, I literally am I pull my ticket out of the dossier and I'm head back to Lena's to grab my stuff, and I'll be like, meet everybody at the airport.
I'm as fun as it is to be in the field, I'm probably more useful here.
I have talents that I think would be beneficial to either stay or go in the field. That's if our field agents are hurt, I can't do any good if I'm here, but I can't do as well researching if I'm in the field. So realistically, I could go either way.
Well, honestly, and
That's what she said.
She closes all the boards.
Or he said.
Or they said. Yep. She closes all the boards, and says, "Well, I can say I'd love for no one out there to get shot. It is just an auction after all. I've seen much stranger things happen. So while I can't guarantee that they'll be safe, there's a reason I have to send people in, and we can't just go grab things. It's probably pretty heavily protected. These are items worth millions, some of them. I'm hoping no one gets shot, but also, I feel like they can probably handle that. Maybe.
The last time we were in the field, I saw that he bandaged himself with a t-shirt. And so...
yeah.
It was a button-up.
A button-up shirt, which I don't know if that makes it better, because it's usually a polyester blend and not just cotton.
Amazing.
I'll stay. I trust they can probably take care of themselves just fine.
Amazing.
I do have a question, because as a medic, I have exploits, and they're usually done as like they're pretty, like his spell list. where I wouldn't be going in the field, they are the ones that are like portrayed as injections or patches.
I was
Would I
going
be
to
able
ask
to?
if you wanted to send one with.
Could I precast? Okay.
Do me a favor, roll me a d4 for each that you want to give.
That was a 3 on the first one. I can only do 2,
Great.
so I
So
was
3
going to
and-
do both of them, and a 1.
And a 1. One of them will last for 3 days apart from you. One of them will last for 1 day. So choose wisely. It'll be that's their shelf life apparently. Essentially, that's the shelf life of the thing you're sending them with.
Okay. The one that lasts 3 days is going to be an emergency patch, which regains hit points. And then the other one is a stanozazole, something injection. Stanozolol. Yeah.
Stanozolol, sure.
That one gives advantage on dexterity, ability checks, and saving throws, and a 10-foot bonus to movement speed for the duration. That's one that only lasts 1 day.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, and so
Cool.
hand those to Evie.
He doesn't trust Gareth
and
with that anymore.
explain. Doesn't know Gareth as well. Hand those off.
Yeah, we became buds.
Yeah. Just in case you need them. Hands you just a hypodermic needle and a patch with a little sticky thing that comes off.
And they just
And just-
pat him on the shoulder. Just like,
Amazing.
thanks, I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
You
Here,
don't have any.
have some drugs.
You don't have any medicinal allergies, do you? There's any medications?
No.
You have a family
No.
history of heart trouble?
Depends on what you
Yeah.
mean by heart trouble.
A heart attack, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. The stanozol.
I meant
is-
romance. I know that goes over your head. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I just don't want your heart to explode if you have a high blood pressure and you take a stanozol injection.
I'll be okay. Thank you.
And this one's in case you get shot, and he hands you the patch.
I love this so much.
Not planning on it, but thanks.
People usually don't.
Amazing. Evie. So team 1 today is Evie and Gareth. Team 2 is Aaron and Jackie. Gonna as we get used to the format of this show, I'm gonna break down some scene opportunities essentially for you all. Jackie, Gareth, Evie and Gareth, if you'd like to discuss anything at Lena's before you go, or if you would like to interact on the plane, let me know. I will cut to that shortly. But in the meantime, I'm going to start with Aaron and Jackie, who Claudia is immediately going to. All right then, let's get down to the warehouse. We have a lot of research to do to try to help them out, and I have a feeling this one gets bad. This is a artifact that seems charming on the surface, but has taken lives. And the fact that I don't know what it is very disconcerting. But having such a large collection of literary childhood trinkets lying around feels like a really good place. It's too much of a coincidence that it's popping up, and it registered with the warehouse computers. At least it thinks there's at least a probable chance that there's something there, and I tend to trust it. So, to the Peter Pan district, shall we?
To Peter Pan. So,
Yeah.
there's little tablets in the
Yeah.
show that she had for like
Yes.
looking up stuff.
Yes.
I have added an extra pocket to my shoulder bag that I normally keep my tablet in,
Mhm.
and have one of those in now
Yeah.
at all times.
Yeah.
And
Perfect.
already
Looking through everything. She takes you all down to she takes the two of you down to the aforementioned Peter Pan district. You can tell when you walk. You round a corner, and it's impossible to have this place fully memorized or floor planned. As a matter of fact, there's no perfect floor plan in existence of this place because it in and of itself will shift occasionally. Things get moved around too much. The cataloging system is constantly changing as new warehouse energies enter the space and have to be moved and reshelved, and it's most of her job, along with Abby's, is to make sure that things resonate properly with each other. That is why Abby was brought in to have the same job as her mom and the same job as Lena, for aura and knowing where things fit and knowing where things match, and it's a very important job to have. Claudia does her best, but also Claudia's a lot more curious about how do I make these two work for our advantage. Very different type of person. You walk down this one aisle that you know is a lot of literary. It's a lot of books. It looks more like a library than a warehouse here. As a matter of fact, there are even cozy armchairs at one point. And parts of this have been turned into what look like just a reading nook. If you have to sit and read somewhere. There's I need you both to roll me a perception check, actually.
Twelve.
With the 12, you don't notice this, but with the 19, it's a very subtle thing, but you notice a panel on the way in, the Micah Baring Memorial Library, and she has named this entire section. This whole place has been made to look like it's an old bookstore. And it's just cozy, and it's just soft, and I made Matthew cry. I'm sorry. It's beautiful. And behind, she stops at one particular shelf. She says, "Okay, I need you both to focus in there. I need you to think of the most boring things imaginable. I need you to think of taxes. I need you to think about what you're going to have for dinner tonight. I need you to think of having a pap smear or a surgery or something. Like, I need you to think of uncomfortable adult things. I need that to be in your head." As a matter of fact, she goes and grabs, like, War and Peace and Proust, Swan's Way, off the shelves. Like, hands one to each of you. Like, hold on to those. No child in their right mind would read those. It helps, trust me. She has grabbed, like, an original French Les Miserables. Like, she has that, like, in the original French. And she's got it. And she tucks it into her bag as well.
Actually, do you mind trading me?
You weirdo. All right. No, actually, no. No. Because you're too excited about that. I need you not to. Like, they're good. This book is boring. Take it. Like, this book is traumatizing. I remember being forced to try to learn French. She was almost
perfect French. Aaron Chase goes, "And do you speak French?"
Also in perfect French, she goes, "Unfortunately." She is. You can tell it's not that she doesn't like the language, it's that she didn't like how she got there. Like, yes, Matthew, that's exactly it. That cat is there somewhere. That cat exists somewhere.
Duh.
Parlez-vous en français?
Parlez-vous français? Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Like, no. She does not say that. But
That's like the only French I know. So.
listen, that's fair. So she pulls on a book, secret passageway style. An entire wall of the library swings open, and behind it is a deep red velvet curtain. She says, "Everyone got your books?"
Oui.
She parts the curtain, and while it is darkness as the curtain is being pulled back, as you each slowly walk into it, it is like stage lights are coming up. Like they automatically know someone has entered the Peter Pan Theater. And I need both of you to make it's not willpower. I'm not in Vampire Night. I need both of you to make a wisdom saving throw.
23.
Nice.
12 again.
Oh, God. Aaron is fine. Thank God I did not give him the book he wanted. Aaron is holding Swan's Way irritably, is totally fine. However, Jackie, I need you to tell me your favorite childhood memory, your character's favorite childhood memory of all time.
Oh, goodness.
You can think on it for a minute. I will give you a moment while I tell you what Aaron and I see. What Aaron and Claudia see. As they walk past, this curtain is clearly a theatrical curtain, like would be at the front of a stage. And you walk in, and it is like you are walking into a theater. The deep slope. Not that many seats, though. The stage almost is right on top of you. There's like 3 rows of seats. And the stage lights have come up. And this place is... Aaron, even as high as you roll, you struggle to separate the reality from the fantasy for a moment. There are playbills hung all over the wall of opening night and every production of Peter Pan. The wallpaper is just posters of productions of Peter Pan. Not all of them, but just like select ones, like specific. She has them saved here. There are set pieces that all look like they came from different productions, different budgets, different parts of... That one is clearly painted by children. This one was a professional, Broadway level, set piece. These are, this is the one from the play that goes wrong. Like, this is like that. They are mismatched and jarring and beautiful as you look on this cobbled together. Even the theater seats don't match. None of them match. They're all from different... Some of them are folding chairs. Some of them are old, falling apart. Some of them are really cushy. Some of them are box seats that are somehow on the floor. But you blink and it's like they're one whole beautiful piece that were meant to go together. You shake your head, you shake out of it, and it's back to this cobbled together mess. It's very hard to stay in the remember it's a mess. It's very difficult. She's leading you up on stage to where there's notes and all these things, and she's talking about, she says, it's safer to keep the Peter Pan contained. The Pan tries to escape. And every now and then there's shadows just darting across the walls and on the floor. She says, try not to look at them too closely. The idea of Peter Pan is a little too much of a draw for some adults. In fact, J.M. Barrie wrote it for adults, not for kids. It was the book taken the most into the war by British soldiers. More than the Bible. It was Peter Pan. I don't know what piece of his life is resonating with people so much, but it definitely has an effect. Sometimes when people do shows or come into contact with pieces of his life, things happen. But I never seem to have found the big catalyst. The thing that might make the rest of this not so bad. And you see there, again, there's shelves, bookshelves that were set pieces, but filled with actual diaries and documents and original drafts and all of these things. And just a wardrobe that is filled with clothes that you think belonged to J.M. Barrie himself. And then occasionally interspersed with costumes from runs of this show. There's a brilliant Captain Hook coat in there that's just gorgeous. And there's this swords hanging on the wall that, like, you're positive are plastic, but you feel like if you pick them up, you could actually stab somebody with them. You're not sure. But you manage to hold on to yourself and not try. You're aware that these are set pieces and costumes and props and playthings and not real.
Yeah, probably a lot to do with the fact that his childhood was not running around playing pretend. It was chemistry sets from dad and, medical journals and me from his mom. And, his
Amazing.
childhood was just
The trauma.
boring.
Well, listen.
No, that's not boring if that's what you're interested
Yeah,
in.
but exactly. Because if you end up doing that because you like it, then that's a whole other story. But, Jackie, favorite childhood memory?
Ironically, similar to what he just said, was favorite childhood memory is mom, dad, big sister, who's like 8 years older than her, sitting and all reading together, and she was playing on the floor, probably like 5-ish, and climbs up on her dad's lap. Is like, "What you reading?" And he starts explaining his engineering book that he's reading, and his mom's like, "Do you want to see what I'm reading?" And she's reading stuff on code.
Oh my god, dorks. I love it.
And so they all start sharing her books, and like she loves learning stuff, and like these are so much more interesting than my books.
While Claudia and Aaron see this as a stage, Jackie walks into that room from her childhood. No difference. Her parents are sitting there. Her sister is there. She is immediately there.
I should mention both of her parents are dead.
I was literally about to ask that.
Yep.
I need you to make another wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
Okay. Then. Finally, I rolled something good on disadvantage. Okay. All right, 8.
Oh god. Oh god.
That was the lower one.
Oh. Your adult years were a dream. You woke up from them just now. You never left this home. You never left this moment. You didn't have loss. You haven't lost them. You haven't grown up. You haven't gotten a job. You are here and thrilled and excited to be here and find out what your parents are reading and find out all of these things. I have to... Oh my god, we all stayed in the camera frames even though we moved around. It's fine. I have to do it. We're having a tech thing.
Praise the Lord.
Yes. You are absolutely phenomenal. Yes, you're back. You're good. No, that was fine. You didn't screw up anything. You're perfect. You're amazing. You're good. And for all intents and purposes, you are in that scene. If you are a child who does not remember your future, it feels like a dream to you. It feels like you have never actually grown up. What do you do? What would you do? You've essentially made it to the stage alongside them, but by the time you hit the stage, you are completely regressed. You don't see us, you see your parents, you see your sister. It's not a fake set, it's your living room.
I don't remember they're there at all.
Not at all. Not with an 8. No.
Are there chairs, like any armchairs around?
Yeah.
I probably climb up under the one armchair as like a little kid, pulling my knees up and everything, and being like, "Daddy, read me another one. Read me about science again." Like,
while Jackie is stuck in her own imagination, and we do not know if Claudia or Aaron have noticed yet. Evie and Gareth, would you like to have conversations on the plane or at Lena's? We can flash forward.
Oh, definitely.
Time is weird here, so you can... Oh, crap.
Oh no!
Oh, no! It's okay.
What happened?
Your camera popped off again.
There we go.
Back.
You're back.
You're back. You're back. It just went. It vanished. It's back.
It's all good.
You're good. You're okay.
Oh,
So
what were you
yes,
about to say?
we can. Yeah. What were you about to say?
Okay, hold on. I just wanted to make sure because what happened last time was I pressed the space bar and it turned the camera off again.
Oh,
So I was like
no.
making sure that it was.
You're okay. Thank you. Appreciate you.
So in reality, as soon as I grab my stuff, I'm out. So unless Gareth takes 0.5 seconds to pack,
Amazing.
done.
He probably has a go bag, but I think he as he's walking towards the towards Lena's, I think he is trying to skim it. So this auction, I know that Claudia did not say this whenever we were present. So are there details in the thing about how expensive the auction is?
Yes.
A la, do I need to bring a tub?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for asking about details in there. Because I'm not gonna force details on you if I don't know what you're reading.
Of course.
But because some people like Pete never fucking read them. And some people absolutely like Micah read every word. So
So just so that you know what I'm looking for in this. I think Gareth is skimming it to see what outfits he needs. So if they're like what type of event it is, if they have tickets to said event, and also if there's any information on notable people. Those are the three things he is looking for. He is not by any means reading every word. That can be a thing that happens on the flight if he gets bored. But in order to figure out how to pack, basically, those are the three things that he's looking for.
smart. She has not given you a cover. She has not given you that is she knows better than to try to force those on people because it doesn't always work.
Of course.
She has though updated just in general. She has updated the cover that you all have in town because she thinks that the whole we are IRS agents is bullshit.
So what are we?
She has I left myself a note. I have to double check because I don't remember. But it's better. Trust me, it's better. So but other than that, like you don't have like a specific cover in place.
A specific cover.
However,
That's fine.
for this at least. However, you do know. Of course, he's worried about styling. I love that journey for you. You can tell from this that this is she has written notes about high-end collectors community. A lot of them know each other, so you either have to pretend to be somebody who maybe isn't there, or pretend to be someone who is getting new to the game, or whatever. She's made notes in there about don't let the collection get split if we don't know what it is. You either have to get all of it, or but preferably narrow down the exact artifact it is and just get that by whatever means necessary without drawing attention to yourselves. She does suggest we don't have the permission to just steal everything. And they'll come find us. We try really hard to like keep our footprint small. She tries so hard to like
Sure.
But at the same time, God, if you guys could see what's going on right now, you'd know how dangerous these kinds of things are. If you knew right now what's happening in the Peter Pan Theater, like you would since
it is a collection,
yes.
Is there a budget? Is there a budget listed for how much we are able to bid on these? You do not have to give us an exact number at this exact moment.
There is a warehouse budget. However, because the warehouse technically is a government-operated thing, the budget is not limitless. And the chances of being able to... She is encouraging get it sooner rather than later. Because if it goes to auction and you don't win it,
sure,
it could be a little more problematic if someone bonds with whatever this thing is.
Yeah.
And so she has very few details. She's listed some of the signs, and she's included the most detailed pages are this. The most detailed pages are, we know it's something that followed him from his childhood because these things started. There were uncanny stories about when people were around him, and it couldn't have just been him. People aren't inherently magical. When people were around him, when adults were around him even, they forgot their troubles, they forgot their adult problems, they forgot their adult realities, and they were able to disappear into childishness and childish wonder. Endless childish wonder. Hey. This was originally going to be episode 1, and then I couldn't figure out why all of you would be on this specific project, so I made it episode 2. But, she knows it is something from his childhood and onward. She knows it has, with children, it just makes their imaginations run a little more wild, but with adults, it can completely regress them and make them abandon their adult responsibilities. To, again, the detriment of they'll leave their wives, they'll leave their homes, they won't care about being homeless or starving or jobless or getting in danger. They get reckless with their childishness. They get the I can fly and forget logic exists. Too much. But what the catalyst is, she has no idea. She's even said, because not every artifact reacts the same way to everybody. It could have passed through multiple people's hands and never had this response. So figuring out if there's a common thread between the types of people who react to it would also be a possibility. But she doesn't know what it is yet. So we're just kind of open. Like,
Okay, then yeah, I mean, with the since there aren't a ton of details that he's initially looking for, he will just go up there, probably pack a suit, and then whatever other generic clothes he has, but he makes sure to pack something really nice. And then he's heading out towards to, I guess, a separate car. If Evie was like in and out quick,
yeah, do you
then
wait for him?
and Evie's gone,
go to the
then he will drive separate.
You're on the same flight.
No, I'll just be waiting in the car though. Oh, I forgot to when we were doing the whole thing earlier because everything was going
You're
wild.
good.
There was one other thing that
Yeah.
Evie has.
Yes.
And it's it's another thing from her dad. It's her dad's 1980s. It's a white Camaro with red stripes, and it had to come with. And so I made arrangements for it to come down, and that's what when I get to drive, that's what I'll be driving.
Oh yeah, you get to drive, I have a feeling.
Hell yeah.
Oh fuck yes. Oh fuck yes.
Then
Amazing.
yeah, he'll meet you out by the car. Is that the car that we will be taking to the
Now it is.
airport?
Now it is. Yes.
Perfect. Then yeah, he'll come out and meet you by the car. I didn't see the other two packing, so I assume it's just the two of us.
I'm gonna assume honestly that I probably stopped by after because I literally was
You
packed
can use the
already.
Farnsworth also. You can call and be like, "Hey, it's just us, right?"
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
So
Don't forget, you have
Yeah,
the
so I
Farnsworth
just
and you have
checked
your.
with you. Yeah.
You have the Farnsworth and you have the Tesla.
Yeah. So that way I wasn't just sitting in the car waiting and it was just me going because I'm used to that too.
Yeah.
So I checked in with you and be like, who's all going to be with me?
And that conversation happened while we were still on our way down there, pre all this chaos.
Yep.
All right.
And then what? So are our plane tickets first class? I have.
Yes, of course they are.
Okay.
Oh no,
good. Thank
Claudia makes sure. Artie was always no, we'll get there when you get there. She's like, I have miles on every flight on every airline on the planet. I have hacked in and gotten miles. Like, yeah, you're flying legally and appropriately, but I've made sure that we always get first class. Absolutely. Like,
Gotcha.
purely for tactics, not for comfort. Purely for getting
Yeah,
off
yeah.
and on the plane quickly, not for
And
any
also
other
so that we
reason.
have a private place for conversation.
That too.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we get the nice seats at least.
I'm used to honestly whatever, so this will be a treat for me, honestly.
Meat.
How do you feel about classic rock for the drive?
Sure, I'm not picky. It's your car, right? The driver gets to pick the music.
Passenger says it's cake hole.
Exactly. All right. So
All right.
I had a few minutes to glance over this. Looks like we need to get whatever it is early if possible. Buying it might not be a great option, but looks like we need to try and narrow it down if we can. if we can figure out what it is, I can probably get us in there so that we can get it if we can't talk our way into it or if we can't buy our way into it. So that's not something I'm terribly worried about, but we might need to keep in close contact with the other two if we can't figure it out ourselves.
I'm thinking if we can get there before the auction actually starts and kind of pose as maybe wait staff or some sort of staff, figuring out what it is, where it is, and maybe even snagging it, bagging it,
Cool.
tagging it before.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we don't want to miss our flight.
Let's go.
Proud
The
of
car
you guys
ride's
for
gonna be
having a
quiet.
plan.
I think the car ride's going to be pretty quiet. I do have just a couple of questions for him on the plane. But the car ride is me in the car. That's it.
We can cut to the plane. It
Perfect.
takes a while to, and again we're gonna be bouncing back and forth. Actually no, keep in mind the plane. We're gonna cut back to our library group. Aaron, I need you to make a perception check, please.
21.
You do notice that Jackie's a little off. That it's like she's not all there. What do you do?
Immediately, like, reach out and stop Claudia. Put a hand on her arm. I think something might be wrong.
She turns, she looks, shit. And she... You got your book?
I do.
Great, amazing. Okay.
Is there a way to snap her out of it?
Well,
or do we just have to...
Well, that's the risk. If we...
Do we have to bore her somehow? Break through?
Well, it depends on how deep she is. I was hoping this wouldn't happen immediately. That's why I gave boring books. And she points at the Victor Hugo. No offense.
I forget what book you gave to
I
Jackie.
gave you Crime and Punishment.
Oh.
Yeah. Probably in, like, yeah. You have that ability. I know you left. Evie's not the one who's there, and Evie has the ability to snap someone out of it. I didn't plan this. It was the dice. I gave you all choices where you wanted to go. And
I had a feeling too. I was literally like, this is going to be so bad.
And I made up the Peter Pan Theater on the fly as I was talking, because my brain went, oh my god, I know what to do. Sorry, I got excited. Yeah.
I can't snap her out of it, but I can do science to her.
That sounds dirty and non-consensual.
Right,
No
not the
drugs.
answer.
Frank's are not the answer, Dr. Chase! However,
Fine, and the air dart gun that was coming out from under his jacket slowly goes back into the inside pocket.
Do you know what happens, Dr. Chase, when you're in the middle of a childlike nostalgia and someone puts you into a sleeping state? You go into a coma, and we can't get you out of it.
I have different doses measured for each one of my compatriots, different weights and allergies. I'm a licensed anesthesiologist.
And I'm a licensed warehouse keeper. I promise you, things here do not always follow the rules of science. So, what we need to do, however, is figure out, and you might be able to do this, how deep in it she is. Sometimes when they're just in memories that their brainwaves are still active enough that we can pull them out of it, but sometimes they're not. And if we make the wrong choice, she is going to get stuck. And we're not going to be able to pull her out of it again.
Is she like responsive at all? Like,
Try.
is she talking? Aaron's gonna
I
walk
will
over
point
and
out that when she got pulled into this, she dropped the tablet on the floor. You have never not seen her with a tablet in her hand.
I
And she's got a book, or like whatever nearest book she's picked up in is reading to
I was
Dad.
actually going to make you make a dexterity save for that because I need to know if you hold on to the book or anything else. That's not a voluntary bodily decision of yours. That is
Okay.
your in your dream state you could be regressing. You may not physically be moving at all. So I need you to make a dexterity save. That's gonna that's changing things. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. Hi Hecate, hi! Thank you for the raid. Welcome to our trauma.
My dice hate me today.
Clearly. Or they're telling a really good story. What was it?
That's true. 4.
Oh, God. So then, yes, you do, in fact, drop not only the tablet, but the book, which is more
Yep.
important right now. The book that was meant to be your grounding tool, you drop. Whatever memory you are in, Claudia knows how hard it is to pull yourself out of fond memories. Claudia and Pixie both assumed when your favorite childhood memory had to do with your parents that they were no longer with us because I have trauma. Yeah, I raided Hecate earlier today, and then she raided us here. It's a nice little raid train. I love you. Enjoy, stay a while, or de-stream, do whatever you have to do. But Claudia recognizes this all too well, unfortunately. Upon the book falling and the tablet falling and everything like that, she stops and she says, okay. Whatever it is, she's not gonna want to leave. I'm gonna change the screen really fast because we're having there, it's back. Whatever this is, she's not gonna want to leave. She is gonna need to be pulled out really carefully. And that may take some artifacts. Dr. Chase, I need you to check her vitals. I need you to figure out how deep she is in. I'll let you make all kinds of science.
Yep.
Now you can do science.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he goes up and he like saying her name, Jackie. Can you hear? And he pulls a pen flashlight out and like checking to see if her eyes dilate, checking her pulsing, if she's both like if she's with us at all, just checking. He will use a bonus action to do science to it. It's one of his medical applications that he has.
I'm aware.
Yeah. And would this be a science or a medicine check?
I'm gonna need you to make a medicine check. 'Cause right now you're trying to check her vitals and everything like that. But I will give you advantage because I'm gonna give you advantage for mostly because you so completely stayed aware when we walked into this room.
Okay. That is a natural 20 for 29.
Don't fucking need the advantage. You know not only exactly how responsive she is, you can tell that she is essentially, her brain is essentially in REM sleep while her body is awake. You know that you could wake her up, but you don't know that you could medically, you know. Do you relay the vitals and everything to Claudia? That's question number 1.
I think it depends on what the apparent options to me are.
The options are risk trying to wake her up your own way with some kind of medical concoction, or help Claudia find an artifact on the shelves that could be used to wake her up. It's really all
I'll
about
relay
which
the
one's more fun
information.
to you. Like,
We're playing with somebody else's life, and she did specifically say science does not always work the way you expect here.
Mhm.
So,
smart.
with all that being said, I suppose I trust it to your sorcery.
Okay, well, let's not call them that. But here's what I need from you. Stay here. If I'm not back in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, if I'm not back in 15 minutes, do whatever you have to wake her up. But if she starts wandering around this room and sleepwalking her way through her own memories, your job is to keep her from dying. Hold on to your book. Don't let her get hurt. I'll be right back.
Got it. And I know we're probably going to cut
yeah,
scenes,
yeah.
but he like puts the similar to how he had the Danish earlier. He puts the book in his mouth and starts going through a drug kit. You said that he had enough stuff to make more of the sleep darts
I
or
did.
something similar.
I did.
I
Also,
won't-
I would like to
Oh.
point out that it is only because you have Swan's Way and not Les Mis that I'm allowing you to put
Oh,
the book
yeah.
in your mouth, because Les Mis is this big, Swan's Way is this
I'm-
big. Like,
Yeah, I'm very aware. That's had it been Les Mis, he would have opened it and just like held the cover. But so he's going through. He's gonna start trying to make the opposite of a sleep dart, just using
adrenaline
what he
shot?
has in his an adrenaline shot. Yeah, seeing if he can piece that together, just in case.
roll me a sciences check. Actually, I'm gonna
And I will.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you to roll a sciences check. Keep in mind, I'm gonna have to make you make another roll on this exact same concoction later. Matthew, are
Okay.
you trying to be in both cameras?
Yes. And I was successful.
I love you so much. Just puppet hand.
Uh,
Just puppet
I
hand
will-
as Evie.
Use my bonus action again to do science to it to give myself a little extra +2
Flawless.
for 18.
You mix what you think is the right amount. You are able to mix it quickly and well. Welcome back, Evie. You are able to mix it quickly and well, and you think that it will do the trick when if necessary. I'm gonna let Claudia roll some dice here in a minute, but we're gonna wait for Evie to be back, and then we're gonna cut back to the plane. We're gonna let Evie do their thing. You're okay.
I don't know what's
You're
going
okay.
on. I've switched to my phone, and even now it's I can't see any of y'all. Can you see me at
we
all?
can see you. You look.
Yeah.
We can see you and we can hear you. Discord may need updates on things. Discord may be going through a thing. Oftentimes, it is not you. Like, we have all gone through Discord nonsense that is not anyone's fault, except Discord's.
Okay.
I
I'm literally
promise
like
it's not you.
Yeah.
Promise it's not you.
I'm sitting here just like holding my phone, just like
You're doing great, sweetie. You're wonderful. It's okay.
thank you.
Before we lose you again, let's cut back to the plane. Go.
In reality, I just wanted to talk with Gareth. I don't really know a whole lot about you, and that makes me a little bit nervous, but also I understand that certain things can't necessarily be talked about, and I just need to know where you're at on all of that.
Well, not the first time that I've been told I make people nervous, and I'm kind of okay with that. Depends on. Frankly, it depends on what it is that you're curious about. Did you have anything specific?
Really, at the end of the day, I need to know what your priorities are when it comes to not even necessarily combat situations, but in high stakes situations. Like, what are your motivations and priorities?
Huh. That has not really been a thing that I've had to talk to other people about. I mean, as with any training, put your mask on yourself before putting your mask on the person next to you, a la the plain speech. Matthew can't think of words that was given earlier, right? But other than that, obviously any and all partners involved in a mission are essential to the mission, or else I would have been assigned to it myself. So, once I'm sure that I am safe and not dying, obviously you all are very next priority.
Okay. I can be okay with that. I can get self-preservation. I will let you know. For me, my first will always be the people who don't necessarily have advantage in the situation. So since you can take care of yourself, I'll put you towards the bottom of my list because it seems like you've got it.
Sounds good. If that ever changes, I will let you know. But I should be fine. We'll see. But just know that any requirement I have of taking care of myself before other people doesn't come out of a place of pure selfishness necessarily.
Yeah.
I has to be said, people, government people, they can, you know how it is, can kind of be touchy. So it's not out of a dislike for you all or a selfishness on my part, but I can't make sure that you all are okay if I'm not able to move. So
that's absolutely valid.
But as far as in the field, I excel at getting to places that I shouldn't be in, getting out without people seeing me,
Okay.
and taking people out if necessary. But that's kind of the missions that I've been sent on before this. So I'm interested as to the sudden change as we've all run into, I'm sure. But that's sort of where I excel and why I kind of assumed that I would be in the field. I'm
Great.
not really one for research, but I'm sure I'll have to have a stint in the warehouse.
With Claudia as our new boss, I think that's going to be all of us at one point.
Yeah, God, she's like 12, right?
I've seen too many people, known too many things. I stopped guessing ages a long time ago and just started dealing with respect.
Her and Abby both. They're like in their teens, I have to assume. God, they make me feel angry.
At the end of the day, it's about rank and about respect. And Claudia for sure has earned a whole heck of a lot, and Abby I just enjoyed talking to. So
she is fun. Have you had a chance to look over the mission details at all?
Briefly, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of knowledge that Claudia has yet. So I think we're going to be doing a lot of recon.
Sounds good. I liked your plan about the weights, by the way. I think that's a very good first start. And if not, we can just be hoity-toity. We're new to the collection thing, and we have all of the money. So give us these things. They don't even need to go to auction. We can buy them ourselves right now.
Absolutely. I think with your ability to sneak and my ability to talk in and out of anything, I think we'll be okay.
Perfect. Now let's. Do you think first class comes with drinks?
It always does.
Hell yeah! He'll try and flag down an attendant to get a mimosa.
And Evie just gets a gin and tonic, short and simple, and says, "I think I'm gonna just enjoy the rest of this flight. It's not often that I get to be a passenger."
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Not the flying thing, but the enjoying this. We'll just relax into his very comfy first class mimosa in hand.
The camera cuts back to Claudia, running through the stacks, checking the shelves, checking the everything. She's thinking hard and running through and talking to herself. Usually she used to have someone to bounce these ideas off of, even when it was an AI, but she can't bring herself to hook him up again now. This is not what he wasn't supposed to be here. And so she's thinking to herself, and she's okay, something. If they get lost in childhood and they can't pull themselves out of they and she dropped her book. She has nothing of interest to hold on to. So that means I have to do something to. She's looking. She's like, that bell won't work. No, those are for absorbing knowledge. That was his sleep mask. That's the opposite of what we want to do right now. She's already in a state of REM sleep. We have to pull her out of. We either have to wake her up or. And she remembers what I'm gonna say Erin said out loud, which, do we have to bore her? She checks her watch and realizes 10 minutes have already gone by. And if he wakes her up wrong, it could go very badly. She goes, damn it. You see her run into a section she's never showed any of you, called the Dark Vault. It is Matthew's face. Before she's grabbed, there's suits hanging on the wall that are like goo hazmat suits that she has invented, since there have been many, many bad times in the Dark Vault. She does not have time to grab one right now, however. She only puts on the gloves and the goggles from one of these suits, runs into the room, goes to a typewriter right in the middle of the room. She closes her eyes before trying to put any amount of attention to Sylvia Plath's typewriter. The label in front of it says that it can strip your will to live away, it can strip your life force away, it can make you just in a deep state of ennui. She feels around and just breaks a part of it off and runs out again. She's got the rocking, she's ended up pulling off like the roll paper shaft or something. She just like pulled a piece off. She goes hauling ass back to the Peter Pan Theater. And she's wearing the glove. She bursts in right at 14 minutes. I need her to make a check. I need her to make her own willpower check right now. Otherwise, this is gonna go... Thank God, natural 19. I was like, if she just stands here and has, then this is gonna go real bad. I make her make checks too. How's she doing? And I would like both of you to make, I would like Jackie to make another wisdom saving throw. And that will determine what I need Dr. Chase to roll. A what?
The chonker saved me. I rolled a dirty 20.
Oh, thank God. Okay. While you are still stuck in the dream state, your body has not caught up yet. So thankfully, you haven't moved. You're not running around the room about to die. As far as you can tell, Dr. Chase, she's still just in a trance. She has not moved. Claudia comes bursting in. How is she?
Am I like talking at all or just
No,
completely?
it's just in your head, because if you'd failed another willpower, your body was going to start joining your brain. Luckily, you rolled
Good.
well enough just now that your body has not caught up to the dream state your head is in yet. Okay.
Good. I didn't feel like making people cry right now, but if you knew what she was saying, you'd probably all cry.
No, thank you. We're fine. But hey, we'll find out. Okay, so
Mhm.
She
we just
seems
lose.
stable. Aaron has like his book. It's back in his hand now that he's not doing stuff, and he's like put her hand on it as well, so they're both in contact with it. Just because he's like, maybe it will help, and has tried to like sit her down, so she does start moving around. She has to get up, and it'll give him a little bit.
Okay. She looks at the piece that is in her hand, and she says, "This is risky, just even as a piece of an artifact. So we're gonna try your way first, Doc. And I'm gonna really hope it works and I don't have to use this. But this is all I could find."
Okay. Well, here we go.
Now I need you to roll your medicine check.
Okay. Bonus action.
Yeah?
I'm going to do science to it again.
Science to it!
I'm going to do science to it. And just like, because he knows this is like, if it works, like it might be kind of a violent wake up. So he like lays Jackie down, and that is a 2. So 11.
Jackie, I need you to make one more wisdom saving throw.
8.
For a moment, it seems as though it has worked. For a moment, it looks as though it's totally gonna be fine. Because she's talking now. She's starting to talk. Even Claudia is like, oh, thank God. And she goes to start taking and wrapping up this piece. She goes to about to bag this piece of typewriter she's taken on. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna roll to see if she accidentally does. No, we're good. Okay, thank God. She starts to bag this piece and stops. And she goes, she's not talking to us, is she?
I don't think she is.
In little girl voice, you hear, but Daddy, you'll always be here to read me to me, right?
Okay. And we're gonna cut back to our plane group. You have landed quickly. You are doing saving throws, right? Even if with your ability modifiers, because I know what they should be, you would not have hit the right numbers for any of these.
Okay.
They're high DCs. Because so many of these rolls, I'm gonna behind the curtain a little bit. So many of these, the ultra modern classes have so many things you can add to stuff that it's a higher than normal DC for starting out in a campaign like this. In addition, it makes, I figured it was a way to make the artifacts risky enough that it is high stakes for this campaign. I am learning it as we go, so if we all continue to, like, if it continues to be a struggle, I'll say Andrew barely missed his for that. It was a 15. Like, you got so close, my dude. But, like, I've made them high enough that we have to use those special abilities that we have and like things like that because I want it to be a little bit harder because we are normal people dealing with abnormal things. So you're doing everything right. It's just sometimes the dice don't like you, and you know what? Sometimes that's a better story, kids. This is a prime example of this is a much more interesting story than I'd planned on when we walked in the room. Like I'm sitting over here going, what artifacts can I use? I was Claudia just now. I was like, what artifacts could I use for this? Shit. Oh, shit. Like, that was Pixie realizing in real time, oh, this is the one I know off the top of my head. I don't have time. Okay. Like, that was Claudia going, crap. Like, so sometimes you gotta grab one you know, and that's one I know.
We need the most boring artifacts you can find. You have baseball cards, any signed sports paraphernalia.
Boring for you, maybe. But we are cutting back to because that took long enough. Again, there's weird timey-wimey things in the warehouse. We're going to cut to Team 1 has landed in Prince Edward Island. You have gotten a rental car, nondescript, blends in. Gotten a rental car, and you have headed off to the hotel where this event is happening. And go.
Can we do a circle around the hotel real quick? I want to be able to, at least from the outside, see. It's probably a basic hotel, but still.
Yeah, just do a basic case of the place to make sure we know what we're doing with before.
Yeah.
Before we go in. That sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Then yeah, we'll drive around and see if there's valet parking and if there is a self parking, like boring details like that. And then also more importantly, like, is there a garage? Is there a parking garage attached, or is it just parking?
There is a parking garage. It is an upscale. Okay. It is an upscale hotel. It is a it is in the, hold on, I gotta, so So Prince Edward Island, the reason I made that a thing for literary is it is very important in the Anne of Green Gables series. That is where they filmed and there's all kinds of stuff, and so it's become this sort of haven for sort of literary people who want to go on literary pilgrimage to see there. Green Gables Shores is a real, like, that's where it was supposed to be. It was supposed to look like and be that place. But Charlottetown is the big town there. Now, this is still a cozy little place. This is not a fancy upscale. So this is as upscale as you get, is still historical in nature. It's one of those.
Sure.
It's a tourist destination more than anything else. They have classic car shows there, and old fancy town halls, and old ancient not ancient, but like beautiful old cathedrals and everything like that. It is essentially a seaside town. So this is the most historical hotel in town. I'm not going to go out of my way to figure out exactly what that is. Andrew, stop suggesting LSD. Sorry, our group chat is a fucking trip, y'all. I love it so much. I love
It's
these.
not the only thing that's a trip.
If
Dr. Chase has anything to
No.
say about it.
Oh
The
my
LSD
God.
darts are so expensive. I don't actually have any
I don't
of
want
them.
to use them. They're so expensive.
Yeah.
So, where to stay? Actually, I can look up inns. They're fancy inns, and then there's a resort.
Sure.
I am going to find it for you because I want to be able to give you all an actual, like, I want to say not a blueprint, but like what the destination looks like. Rod Crowbush Golf and Beach Resort? No, that's not going to be where it is. It's going to be at an inn. It's going to be at a historical inn. Yes, Stanley Bridge Country Resort and Conference Center. Oh no! Dalvey by the Sea Inn and Dining Room. It's gorgeous. I need you all to see it. I need you all to go, and I'm gonna find and send you the link to it. Because I'm a dork. Stop it.
Oh,
Yes. Visit website. Listen, it's very, very pretty, and I
I
need
think
you
we
both
might be on the same way.
to be able to see it. I need you both to be able to see it. Exactly that. That's your resort. That's your hotel. That's where the thing is taking place. So you can visualize. So no, it's not a parking garage because I realized I was describing very American things and this place is in Canada. And that's not necessarily something that they would have there, and I'm trying to do my due diligence. So that is what your place
Yes,
looks
I'm
like.
jealous.
I want to go there.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
want to go there. That people can stay in cottages, people can stay in big fancy rooms, there's events there, there's everything. This is 100% where an auction like this would be. Look at it. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's pretty.
Get to milk goats.
It's gorgeous. Like,
Okay. Do we have did Claudia arrange rooms at the inn?
she did. She would have absolutely
Okay,
arranged rooms
perfect.
at the inn. You guys are staying in, actually, having watched both of you work and be anxious and wander around, would she have been able to tell what side of the building you would have wanted to be on? I'm looking at the options on the website. Cozy queen room with a view, 2-bed queen, king room, king with a view, king suite, or one of the cottages off the actual resort.
For Gareth, a room is fine.
Yeah, just a room.
If it's just
For
if
tactics,
it's
like
just
it's-
two, if it's just like two of the cozy queen rooms or whatever, like that would be fine.
You would have one room
Especially 'cause they're
sharing as
only there.
agents. You would have one for the mission, for the not taking up too much space, or booking rooms that need
Sure.
to like booking one room during this was going to be hard enough.
Okay.
So she would have booked one room, but if she could tell where she would be, where you would want, where she would put you, where you would both want to be, she would do her best to get you a room that fit what you needed, tactically speaking.
I think I would probably prefer being in, if it's possible, if they can arrange a first floor close to the exit kind of.
Those are the kinds of
Room.
things I was looking for. That's what
Yep.
I assumed that you would have things in mind as far as plans. There you go. Cool. So yeah, um, that is where you all will end up being.
Okay. Then
Um,
as we begin to circle around and seeing that it's not what Gareth anticipated that it would be, except that he would have looked up what our room reservations were on the plane, so he knows that this is what it's going to be.
Mhm.
So they didn't try to drive around in case
You're
the joint
welcome.
necessarily. But then, all right. Well, do you want to? I guess we can go get checked in and then
Mhm.
walk around
Yeah.
at least, see what we're looking
Yeah.
for.
I think I want to
Perfect.
get checked in, get in something where we look like we're just cozy tourists, whatever,
Mhm.
and walk around the property, just enjoying the fresh air kind of thing.
Perfect. Then yeah, let's we can park and then head on inside.
You realize that the society who is selling off these items and having the auction, this historical society, is has booked out the entire space for the weekend. You will have a much easier time blending in with the staff than you will with the actual guests. So first floor is a good choice, so you don't have to run into people upstairs and they go, "You're not a member of the society." So good call on that. I was making notes. I was like, they're gonna struggle, but well done.
Talk about yourself. Blend in with anybody. I can be fancy.
Um,
I can't.
but you are noticing that they have taken a lot of extra. There's a lot of extra people, more people than you expected, doing all these things. I mean, there are private collectors and who are there from all over the world. There are people who are quite obviously who are already poring over pamphlets that have been given of some of the or not artifacts, but some of the items that are going to be available at auction. There are people who are already on the phone with their bank going, I'm going to have to get this. I want to see if I can go already talk to somebody about getting this early, about buying it out early, about all these things. You can tell that they are that there is there's an anticipation in the air, almost, that is a little unnerving. Actually, it is. These are just it's just books, right? Like it's just authors' stuff. It's like people's writing desks. And how is how when is a raven like a writing desk? Like, I don't know. It's like all of these things. Like, there's lists of famous authors whose personal effects will be included, but it doesn't say what they necessarily are. It's like this pamphlet is a tease. I need you both to roll investigation checks.
Natural 20.
Oh, hell yeah!
A natural 16 for a 15.
Amazing.
Not bad.
Listen, that's fine. It is Evie who picks up on it through getting the lay of the land, and I'm going to say not just investigation, the normal means, but also being charming enough that people open up to them fairly quickly, using that charisma, even when you're not using that charisma. It's Evie who figures it out first, points it out to Gareth, and Gareth starts following up and figuring out a little more. When you realize that no one knows who's throwing this auction. Most of these collectors were invited guests. It pinged on Claudia's radar, probably because it was an unusual auction. In fact, thank God you didn't try to blend in as collectors, because this was not a public event. You realize that every single one of these people has no idea who is auctioning these items off, or why they were chosen to be the ones who were welcomed in. But you get the feeling that all of them were invited for specific reasons. There may be a little more to this auction than you think. It might not be quite as above board as you're not sure why, but no one's this secretive, right? No one's this out of the way, secretive, quiet, while simultaneously being dramatic. No one is, right?
Oh, that doesn't bode well. All right.
Yeah.
If we can if we can find one of the lower level, um, maybe wait staff, but maybe also housekeeping, we
Mhm.
might be
Yeah.
able to get a little bit more information that way. Um, as we are walking around, maybe on the once we are heading back towards our room, have we seen any staff that are not behind desks?
You've
Because
seen
like obviously there's like reception and stuff, but have there been any staff like walking
there
around like
have been there have been people there have been people moving tables. They're converting the dining room into this auction hall. There have been
Okay.
gardeners. There have been people making it. Whoever has bought out this place has bought out the best version of it. You're not even
Sure.
you don't know who they are, where they're staying. You're not sure who's in what room. But
Okay.
you know the wait staff has the wait staff, the housekeeping staff, everyone, the valet park attendants are on high alert. The concierges are making certain that everyone's needs are taken care of, and before they even know it, they seem a little on edge, in fact. But there's tons of them. There's more than you'd expect for an inn this size, even a historical one.
So you mentioned pamphlets that described some of the secretively described some of the items that are going to be auctioned. Is there any way that I could snatch one of those if it is left slightly unattended? Either a like trip and accidentally grab it as I like catch myself on the table, or as blatant as nobody's around, so I just pick it up off the table and pocket it.
You can actually just pocket one.
Perfect.
No one's super concerned about them. The, while there's not as much information as you would want, there are plenty of them going around. There are plenty of
Perfect.
them that exist. You snag one of these pamphlets. It's thick. It's really good quality paper. And you have it. You have it on your person.
Perfect.
And
I will
go ahead.
go ahead. I was just gonna say I put that away until we're in a room to more closely look at it.
For looking around, does each I know it's kind of different for hotels and based on the caliber. Does each department wear different outfits, or is it all just kind of one generic hotel outfit?
It is a very generic hotel outfit here. It is one style. It is especially for this event, they all seem to be in black pants, white shirt, black vest, black tie. They, even if it is a more casual version that is sleeves rolled up, it's fine, but it looks as though they are all meant to appear very professional this week. Everyone has name tags, yes.
Well, I was not just gonna ask about name tags, but also like, is there in branding on any of their clothing, or is it just professional black and white?
Evens or odds?
Odds.
Professional black and white. No in specific branding. No.
I was gonna go to the laundry room and steal some clothes if I had to.
No
I was gonna
branding
ask
necessary. Yeah.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Was since it's generic, there probably wouldn't be a laundry room, a formal laundry room.
No. So you two get back to your room after doing a sweep of the whole area. You look over your pamphlet and realize there's so many authors notated. And I'd like you to make a history check with advantage, both of you, as you pour over this.
Perfect. I actually have. I do have. Is it? I'm sorry. Is this a saving throw?
Nope, just it's a yeah, it's just a check with advantage.
Okay, perfect.
Oh no.
A 6 for a 5.
Oh my god.
I have a dirty 20.
Thank
Thank God! I'm with a smart person.
You almost notice nothing. You almost just go, all right, these are some authors, these are some something. But since you specific Matthew's a little, well, not Matthew. Gareth is a little like a little just tired and is eager to be on a job finally, and has been doing recon and has been doing, you're doing what you're supposed to do. Evie, you are flipping through it and almost put it away. Almost close it as though nothing in particular. You'll see it when you see it. And then you notice, not only are there plans of auctioning off some of J.M. Barry's things, there are names you see in this and items you see on this list that you swear you've seen in the warehouse already, or that are supposed to be. And that's where we're going to end tonight. With Jackie and Dr. Chase and Claudia stuck in the Peter Pan Theater, and Evie and Gareth realizing that not only is this auction not quite what it seems, but it's got artifacts already on the list. Our first two-parter episode. Episode 2, Second Star to the Right.
This is a good title.
Thank you. I already messaged Tristan. He also knows what next week's is called.
Ooh.
And you what?
Nothing.
Okay. How's everybody doing? Are we all doing okay? Yeah.
Cliffhangers.
Listen. I had some options in mind, but honestly, there's so much here that I was excited to unpack, and you all just gave me a great opportunity. So these will be up on your these will be up on the YouTube shortly. So many friends are on. So we are actually going to raid Blondosaurus Rex, because we're just gonna keep the raids amongst friends going. Playing some League of Legends. I'm gonna Blondosaurus Rex. I hate how she spells the name. I never spell it right. Anyway.
No.
Oh, fuck,
Never.
shit. Is Sway already live? No. Okay.
Yeah, he's on it starting soon.
Okay,
Oh.
thank God. Okay, good. Just he wasn't feeling well earlier. Sorry, we're rating Sway. Good. There we go. I didn't see it, and he was not feeling well, so I wasn't sure. Thank God. No. We're rating you. So we are gonna go. Yes.
I was just gonna say, so we are down next week, but everybody keep an eye on, or at least this game is down next week, but keep an
Yes.
eye on our Discord
Yes.
for notification of when we will be back to finish this two-parter episode.
Yes. I'm gonna make you guys sit for an extra week in between things, because I am.
I forgot my shameless plug. Easy to Spell is playing D&D on Sunday.
Oh yeah, yes, please
We're
plug
doing it.
stuff. Go.
They're in the midst of a nice dinner party that I just can't wait to destroy them with.
I hate you for that. I love you for that. It's gonna be
Is
amazing.
Wanderhome coming up on this Sunday?
It should be, yes. That's the plan. But yeah, so
I
it's gonna be
think-
Wanderhome
I think
Sunday,
with our
we got Vampire
timing, you
tomorrow.
can go straight from Wander Home to
Into
Dispel.
Easy to
Like
Spell, it'll be
we
perfect.
stack up nicely.
That's
yeah.
my plan.
Great. It'll be great. Come pay attention to our scheduling. Thank you, Matthew. All
You are
right,
so welcome.
we're gonna go show Sway some love. Until next time, folks, stay wonderful. And yes.